oftentimes youth slams are criticized for telling kids, instructing kids to open up scars to create art, but then like they don't instruct them on how to come down from that. Like, do you have any advice for okay, we're going to go back into this, scary event that happened in life, and how do you like not just talk to yourself into a pit of despair, or write yourself into a pit of despair, essentially? Because it's very easy to beat yourself up on paper too.
What do you do after, Treesje? Like, what do you do when you're asked to expose your most traumatic moments on stage and you're a college student, and then then what? You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that we see in slam poetry, where it's like, yeah, go up there and tell the world your most traumatic events, and then what?
Yeah, I actually really struggle with slam for that reason alone. I really have always had a hard time watching people bleed on stage for scores. Because I felt that trauma had become institutionalized in so many ways in slam. I think that there is a space for us to share our stories, but what I've seen is that organizations that have used slams have now put in place like debriefing rooms, right? Or there's a corner off the side of the stage where students are like, there's mental health professionals available for you to process your feelings. And so I think that the poetry is actually the therapy. And there's actually a whole industry of poetry therapy, right? The cathartic process of writing out your emotions when so many people repress them is actually a part of the healing process. But if it is a repeated opening of the wound, then you then go into this like almost like PTSD, right? Because you have to experience that trauma over and over again for it to be real and raw for the audience to see. And so I think that there is a healthy space for poems to just be retired. Like, you're past that. Like, you know what I mean? It's okay to say, you know what? I'm good. I'm not going to do that piece anymore.
How do you recognize when a poem needs to be retired?
Oh, you guys are asking me all the hard questions today.
Yeah. Hey, that's what we're here for, baby. Let's go.
I think there's two places, right? One, when you've gone through the incident, and I feel like you as a person have matured. Like, I don't do none of my bitter breakup poems anymore because I'm not bitter. So I'm not gonna do that. You left me and I'm sad. I got a whole husband. Why am I writing about you? Why am I talking about you anymore? So I think there's like, oh, right, like I'm not on that person anymore. So why do they get to share my space? Exactly. So I think that when we go to a space where when it feels routine to you, when you can do that poem in your sleep and there's no emotion tied to it and it becomes robotic, I think that that's a moment for you to take inventory and say, yo, am I just doing this poem for scores or for snaps? Or am I still in a space where I'm telling my story? And is that still a part of my story that I feel like is relevant?
Let's go.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense too. And you go through therapy and these even formal traditional therapy. You go through it to get past these things, right? Not to wallow in them or sit in your misery forever. So
right.
To apply that same thinking to art and poetry as therapy, like that's a missed fact.